Here he is saying, that he's finishing up with Rubio. Well, let's talk about him, Trump attacking Rubio, because he's hitting everybody here. And here's Donald Trump going after Rubio. Not necessarily anything too new, but it is, it's classic Trump.
So I'm running against these other people. Nice people. I'll discuss a couple of them. Should I or should I not? You won't get angry at me if I talk about somebody that you like? If you do, that's okay too. I don't care. Well, let's start. We'll start with Rubio. I mentioned before. Nice person. Weak on illegal immigration. You know that. Weak. Rubio. Ready? Weak on illegal immigration. Like weak, like a baby. Like a baby. Not a good poker player, because every time he's under pressure, he starts to just profusely sweat. If he was playing poker with me, I'd say, I know what. The water would start pouring off his body. I'd say, Oh, boy, he'd have a hard time. We need a poker player, great one, okay? We need a great one. So, very weak on immigration, a member of the Gang of Five. You know what the Gang of Eight was? The Gang of Five was the weak gang. The Gang of Eight became much stronger on illegals coming in. So he's a member of the Gang of Eight, and the Gang of Eight wants people to just pour into the country. So he was very proud of that. He thought it was great. And then his poll numbers went down in the toilet. And all of a sudden, he wasn't a member of the Gang of Eight. Because, say what you want about some people. They come up with something, they know it's not politically popular. I do that. And if you don't want it, that's okay. I'll go off to the sunset, I'll build my buildings, I'll kick the bucket, that'll be the end of it, and I'm fine. Really, that's the way it is. But I got to do what's right.
I mean, this is, you got to hand it to Trump. This is devastating. I mean, because he knows this is how Marco Rubio, if he loses, how he loses. In the Republican race. I mean, the irony is, in the general, he loses also based on this. No, true.
It's absolutely
true. I mean, if you look at Marco Rubio's favorables with Latinos across the board, now I'm not talking about just Republicans, but across the board, they see him as a complete coward and traitor because of what Donald Trump just said. But Donald Trump also knows that not only when he says that, am I making, and I being Trump, is he making Rubio toxic for the general, he's also making him toxic for the Republican primary on two counts. One, he's in the wrong place in immigration. That's where he is secretly. And two, he's weak and he's spineless. He's like a baby. I mean, this is, and then I would also add, imagine being a politician, knowing at least the one thing I have is when I deal with these other politicians. I mean, I guess David Vitter is finding out it's a little bit different because there's an ad about him not supporting patriots as opposed to prostitutes. But to actually have a candidate, a major contending candidate, to say over and over again, you're sweaty. You're sweaty. Like, what do you think that does to Marco Rubio? Like, do you think that he will be able to go anywhere without consciously thinking, like, am I sweating? Do I need to wear some type of special sweat T-shirt? Like, that's all he's got to be thinking.
That's what happened. That's the story.
You can fix that.
That's the story of Jeb Bush. He took low energy so personally and seriously that it clearly got to him. Sam, can I go back to Bill Cosby and Ben Carson for a second? Ben, will you be angry if I go back to Ben Carson for a minute? Will you be upset? Okay, well, we go back to Ben Carson for a minute. I think it's okay. Bill Cosby.
Yes.
Not a nice guy.
Right.
We find out he used to be the dad. Everybody loved him. Baba big. Not a nice guy. Bad guy. Raping women, doing this and that. Not a nice guy. Used to have him to Robben Island. No more would have him over there. Ben Carson, when he speaks, could be a human roofie for Bill Cosby. That's how boring he is. And Bill Cosby wouldn't even have to mix up anything in our drinks anymore. He'd be like, listen to the doctor talk. and then the girl would be dozing, and then Ben Carson's a terrible person. He probably wants them to be raped. That's the kind of person he is. He's pathological.
All right, let's play
okay
one
I
more
say
clip.
that?
Let's play
Is
one
that
more.
okay?
Let's play one more clip. So Trump, in his epic meltdown speech, finishes with Rubio. We're going to play one more. I'm sorry. This is just too crazy. And he finally gets around to Cruz. Now, he has had basically a truce with Cruz from the very beginning. Cruz has been very careful not to in any way criticize Trump because Cruz has played this to a T, lining up the God Squad in the event that Ben Carson goes away, and lining up the Trump people because Cruz really has a little bit of both. He's both a bombastic a-hole that everybody apparently hates in the Republican Party, and he's also a guy who is who goes and visits churches on a regular basis to talk to the God Squad people and mixes in all the God Squad stuff. So Cruz so far has been hanging out like that 10th or 11th player on Survivor who's really weak, who just hides in the background and coasts in drafts behind somebody. But apparently Trump, in his maybe not medicated state last night, finally gets around to Cruz.
Now, Rubio, bad on immigration, bad on a lot of things. I'm not going to say too young because who knows? I think I could have done a good job when I was his age. So I'm not going to say too young. A lot of people say, oh, I think he's too young. I don't know that he's too young. He will not be an inspiring president. And he's not tough enough to be a president. He's not tough enough. And I will not call him a lightweight because I think that's a derogatory term. So I will not call him a lightweight. Is that okay with you people? I refuse to say that he's a lightweight. Okay. Now, Bush, I said he was a low-energy individual. And it killed his campaign. Who ever heard of that? People said, he's right. But we don't have to talk about Bush because it looks like he's out, right? We only want to talk about the ones that are. Cruz, it's hard for me to say anything bad about Cruz because he says such good things about me. He's always saying I'm amazing. So I'll save that for when he gets nasty, because at some point he's going to have to get nasty, right? But he's been very nice to me. No, he's been nice, and I've been nice to him, and I like him. But he's been nice. But, at some point he won't be probably, because, if it's down to the two of us, he's not going to be nice. I understand that, so then we can do what I like to do best, okay? But right now we'll leave him.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's I don't know what to say. You've got Donald Trump, who's like sort of the classic "don't think of an elephant," right? I'm not going to say that Rubio is a lightweight. I would never say Rubio lightweight. But I would never say Rubio lightweight. And then he goes and he basically says to Ted Cruz, "Whatever you think you got planned, I see it coming. And if you're one of those people out there who are thinking, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, understand that I'll get rid of Cruz too."